Hey guys, what's going on? It's TJ, and I'm coming to you guys with a lineup review. This is from Week 10's Millionaire Maker. We didn't have any luck this week, but we will be going through one of our lines in this tournament, see what worked, what didn't work, where we got unlucky, and we will also take a look at the winners lineup. Shout to Sugarland59 for taking down this week's $1 million. We will go through and see what worked out on his as well. Obviously, everything worked because he won the biggest tournament on DraftKings. But that doesn't mean anything. You can get lucky with bad plays, so we'll see what happened. And that being said, let's just jump right into it. We'll go into my lineup first. This just was outside the cash line. We went with a Giants game stack here and brought it back with Garrett Selleck. Don't mind this process at all, actually. It was a bad game for the Giants, but in terms of fantasy production, it wasn't that bad, and it was kind of what we expected. So Eli Manning, we got him at 5,100 DraftKings dollars. Great matchup. Even though they're playing horrible football, he's in a great matchup and has some really nice tools to work with Ingram and Shep. So 11.1%, like the ownership, not too many people on him. Got 2 touchdowns on 273 passing yards with a stupid fumble, good for 17.92 DraftKings points. So didn't kill us at his salary. Would have liked for him to hit the 300-yard bonus, and I thought he had a really good shot coming into this game versus a very weak San Francisco defense, especially without their 2 starting safeties. Just short of it. So met his expectations, though. Could have had a little bit better game. Really liked his ceiling in this spot where Eli doesn't really usually have a very high ceiling without Odell. Definitely liked it in this case, and I'll take it every time at 11.1% given the matchup. Moving on, we had Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette, 23.8%, a very popular play on the week. I don't mind eating the chalk here with Leonard Fournette because he's such a beast. With the suspension and bye week back-to-back, thought he would have really fresh legs coming into this matchup. Opponents have been able to run the ball fairly easy against San Diego. They have 2 really good edge rushers in Ingram and Bosa, so that usually fares up to a heavy run attack, and Leonard Fournette has seen a ton of volume in the rushing game. If you look at his game log, you'll see a lot of 20-plus touches in the game, 24, 28, 21. Unfortunately, had 17 attempts for 33 yards. Just couldn't get anything going. Only averaged 1.9 yards. Only 2 catches. Usually has a few catches per game as well. So when you're paying that much for Leonard Fournette and you only get this production, 33 rush yards, 13 receiving yards, and 2 catches for 6.6, is not going to fare well at all for anybody. Fortunately for myself, a quarter of the teams in this tournament had Leonard Fournette. So if you didn't have him, great opportunity to strike. This next play didn't work out, but I love it. Take it anytime. LaShawn McCoy was an expensive play here, 8,300. Just sees a ton of volume. 10.3%. I knew he wouldn't be popular coming into this week after the Jets game. Recency bias is a real thing in DFS. So I'd like to take advantage of that. LaShawn McCoy at the Ralph sees a ton of production as well. And we knew that they were going to have to put up a lot of points, seeing that Drew Brees and that New Orleans offense that's going full steam right now was most likely going to put up a lot of points. And the over-under in this game was 47.5. So if that were supposed to hit, you would think that Buffalo was going to do something. If they were, it was going to come through LaShawn McCoy. He had a nice first half, but unfortunately in the second half, New Orleans just blew the doors off and just didn't let him breathe, and he pretty much sat out the entire second half of this ball game. So he only got us 9. But like I said, not going to be results-oriented here. Like the process, like to get shady at home at the Ralph when they need to score a lot of points. Regardless of game flow, he's so active in the passing game, and they have so few weapons. So just didn't work out this week, and we'll continue to jump on those low percent shady weekends because they could really pay back dividends. Going on to the next play, Robbie Anderson. This was no secret. Tampa Bay has an atrocious secondary. He was very popular play, 23.2%. So similar to the Fournette ownership. Jets have been pretty actually efficient in the passing game as of late. So obviously in this plus matchup, I didn't really factor in the weather. I know it was raining down there, so I don't think it was too windy. I think it affected the quarterbacks much more, but Anderson came through with a garbage time touchdown. So receiving touchdown, 85 yards of 4 catches, not bad for 18.5, and he was a mid-range guy. He was 5,200 DK dollars. So he made value. You want to see him get to that 100-yard bonus, but he was just shy. But didn't kill us here. My next play was Cooper Kupp. Now, really not mad at the results of this play either. Loved his spot. The Houston secondary is absolutely decimated with injuries. Rams are putting up a bunch of points per game. I knew Robert Woods would be higher owned than Cooper Kupp. He had a bigger game last week. I like Cooper Kupp. He's in the slot. He has a good rapport with Goff. He gets a lot of red zone targets. So checks off all the boxes. I'll definitely have shares of him in the future. He had 47 receiving yards on 6 catches, good for 10.7 DK points. Obviously want more production from him, want a TD. Just didn't work out this week, but really liked the spot that he was in and the percent that he was owned. So not mad at it. Next play was my man, Sterling Shepard. We ate the chalk with Shepard, but we knew that he was going to come through here. Really bad secondary. Eli was going to funnel all of his targets to Ingram and Shepard, so hence his 25% ownership. He was also a very, very nice price at 5,500, so I expect his price will rise next week. But still, a popular play nonetheless. Came through 142 receiving yards on 11 catches. Got the bonus, good for 28.2. Would have loved a touchdown, but can't be greedy here. We got over 5x on our investment here, so we'll take it any day. Next off was Ingram. I thought Evan Ingram would have been a lot more than 11% owned. He was the most expensive tight end on the main slate. Gronk played on Sunday Night Football, and he was 7,000. But worth the price tag on this guy. Just seeing a absolute ton of targets and a ton of red zone targets. So that's a recipe for really nice scores, and he's really consistent. As you can see, his past 4 games are 15, 17, 18, and 19. And the ceiling on this guy is huge. He's an absolute mismatch nightmare. Really tall, really fast, really strong receiver. We have high hopes for this guy in the future. Just a disaster year. So we will continue to roster this guy. The Giants will be in bad game scripts for the rest of the year. And as long as they're trying, we will be rostering Evan Ingram along the way. We brought it back with Garrett Selleck. This is a play I thought would have been more popular as well, 13.2%. He had like a 40-yard touchdown. He had 67 receiving yards on 4 catches, good for 16.7. And at the price tag of 2,500, absolutely smashing value. And at the low percent, I'll take it any day. If you told me he was only going to be 13%, I would have probably plugged him in each flex spot, especially being in the 425 hammer game. This is the last game of the day on the main slate, so that does merit something. So 2,500. You just play tight ends against the Giants. That's the rule. I think each team that's played against the Giants this year has had a tight end score TD. That's like really difficult to do. So we will attack tight ends against the G-men all year. And Garrett Selleck came through for guys that had, had the gall to actually roster him. Didn't feel good looking at his past game scripts and stuff like that. But DFS is all about jumping on matchups and getting there before everybody else finds out that it's a good play. So love that play. And rounding this whole thing out, we stacked Leonard Fournette with the Jaguars D. Another play. Didn't like the result. Love the process. 6.2%, super low owned. There were a lot of chalky Ds out there. The Bears were one of them. The Rams were another. So love Jags at home as a home favorite, especially paired up with Leonard Fournette. If you think the game script is going to be in their favor, they're going to be running the rock. They're going to be playing good D, playing ahead, putting their team in position to throw the ball so the defense has opportunities for, sacks and fumble recoveries and interceptions. Rivers is usually good for a couple picks or something like that. So Love this situation here. Just didn't work out. They had three different situations where they get a fumble recovery, return for a TD that was called back. They had a fake punt that they didn't give the DST credit for here, where the guy rushed it in for a touchdown, and then I think there was a interception called back that was ran in for a TD. I think they got called for taunting. So just a little bit unlucky in terms of getting scores there for Jaguars, and just didn't work out this week. But this is another stack that we will definitely zone in on in other spots this year. So just finished right outside the cash lines. If these two guys go to work, we definitely put a run in here, especially in a low week. I think our low price guys did pretty good. Cooper Cup could have got us a little bit more production, but other than that, not mad at the process. Let's go to the winners team, Sugarland 59. He went with the full blown Ram stack with Goff, Gurley, Woods, and Rams D. We liked the play of Goff, 10.1%. We were on this. We had some exposure. Unfortunately, I had him paired with Cup, as I told you in my last lineup. He went for 3 touchdowns on 355 yards, got the 300-yard bonus. Really nice day out of Jared Goff. Those guys are scoring a lot of points over there, and Sean McVay has his team really off to a great start, and it looks promising. So moving on, we had Todd Gurley, another part of the Ram stack. Love stacking the quarterback to running back combo. It's not that popular of a move, but it can be really nice, especially when your running back catches passes like Gurley does. Gurley didn't have a monstrous day, but there were a lot of bust in that category, a lot of chalk that didn't come through. So Gurley at 14.9% got his owners 19.6 fantasy points. 68 rush yards, 68 receiving yards on 6 catches. Didn't kill him. This was a ridiculous play. DeMarco Murray, no rhyme or reason why he made this play. It wasn't an efficient play. Cincinnati's pretty stout against the run. I know Vontaze Burfict got thrown out of this game in the first half, which is a surprise to nobody, one of the dirtiest players in the league. But when you have DeMarco Murray at 0.7% and he gets you nearly 30 points, it's going to put you in a really good position, especially when a lot of people have Le'Veon Bell and Fournette and guys like that. So 29.2, 2 rushing touchdowns, only 42 rushing yards, 1 receiving touchdowns, 30 receiving yards on 4 receptions. So just absolutely smashed. He only had 1 touchdown or 2 touchdowns coming into the day, so had 3 in that game. Props on this play, man, or whoever's lineup this is, came through huge and was the catalyst of winning you this fantasy millionaire maker. So next guy up was Juju Smith-Schuster, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that's taken over the number 3 spot in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had a rough day in terms of real football. Juju had a nice day in terms of fantasy football, 15.7%. Got it in the box again for a touchdown. Just came shy of the 100-yard bonus on 5 catches, good enough for 20.7 points. I thought he would be a popular play. 15% is what I would deem pretty popular. I myself had AB, who didn't do anything, and he was a pretty fairly popular play and a high price tag. So Juju ended up on top here, so props on this play as well. Worked out for him and moves us on to Golden Tate. This was a play I was all over, and so was the field, 20.2%. We know that Cleveland is very stout against the run and gives up a ton of points through the air. So Tate is a high-volume receiver for the Detroit Lions. He had 1 receiving touchdown and 97 yards and 6 catches. He, too, just came up short of the 100-yard bonus. Didn't kill him, 21.7 points, really good production, and solid play going into the week. Robert Woods, another solid play. I thought the choice was to pair up. I like this game stack a lot. Goff, Gurley, Woods, Goff, Gurley, Cup. So, Woods punished everybody, went off for a 40-burger at 14.9%. It's fairly low given his matchup. Like I said before, Houston's D is atrocious. So 2 touchdowns, 171 yards, 8 receptions, and the bonus, that's going to put anybody in a position to win a GPP. And for Sugarland 59, that's exactly what it did. Next play, Eric Ebron. Don't like this play. Coming into the situation, wasn't on him. I had 0 exposure. If I was going to take a play on Detroit that was really thin for GPPs, I like Theo Riddick, and that ended up working out. Eric Ebron just hasn't seen enough volume. They had a lot of high hopes on this guy and just doesn't seem to be panning out. He did get in the box, so it saved his owners. Got a receiving touchdown, only 39 receiving yards on 2 catches. Good for 11.9, which is really good because he was only 3,100, and on a low scoring week, he came through huge. So don't like this play, but it worked out, and props to that. We already talked about my guy Sterling Shepard. He was a chalk, but went off for 28.2. And then I also said the Rams D was very, very popular. They were heavy home favorites, and everybody or a lot of people are sharp these days. So 17.2%. That is a lot of ownership for defense. We will definitely be targeting teams against Houston as long as Tom Savage is playing quarterback. Doesn't seem to be very talented and does not make good decisions when he's getting hurried, and it looks like they will be in bad game script like the Giants for the rest of the year. So we will definitely target defenses going against Houston. The Rams D came through with 3 sacks, 2 pickoffs, 2 fumble recoveries, and pretty much no points scored. So good for 15 points. That rounded out his lineup at 215.90 points. Congratulations to Sugarland59 on winning the $1 million. This is the one tournament that you want to win on DraftKings. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. We will constantly go through the process of making these lineups and see if it worked out or not. As a DFS player, you want to have a short memory. You want to make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to win, and that's all you could do. And you don't want to make, you don't want to make bad lineups that don't correlate well. So this is a channel for beginning DFS players, so you guys can, enter your lineups with confidence into these DraftKings tournaments. If there's anything that you guys would like to see, please comment and like this video below. Hope you guys use this information to help you next week, and good luck in your future tournaments. Thanks, guys.